welcome back to another episode of POV with Hailey and Brie.
What a time.
Wow.
We're very excited for this episode.
This is episode 12.
This is episode 12.
Wild.
You know what episode is next? Episode 13.
Episode 13.
That's how it works.
Should we give them just a little, heads up on what we're doing?
Oh, yeah.
What we've decided to do?
What we've decided to do in our first official season of POV is to have a first season.
Yeah, so we'll be doing by seasons.
Yeah.
So each season will have a total of 13 episodes.
Why? Because we love Taylor Swift.
There's a lot of factors.
There's a lot of factors. It actually just happened that we had 13 topics that we wanted to talk about. We got through, after next episode, we'll have gotten through all the categories.
Yeah.
Multiple times, actually. So we feel like we've talked about a lot of things, and we're ready for season 2.
Yeah.
So
Let's go.
let's go.
But don't get too excited. It's not season 2 yet. Right now, we're still in season 1. So like I said, episode 12. Brie, let's enlighten them on what we're talking about for this episode 12. What is the big topic we will be discussing?
So we talked a little bit about dating. I think this episode is going to go more into that, and specifically how to not get duped.
You don't want to get duped, bamboozled.
Same thing.
Terrible.
There's lots of bamboozlement going out there. There's lots of ways that they trick you, or you get tricked, or,
Duped.
Bamboozled.
We can't have that.
Worked, used, wild.
Terrible.
So we're excited because that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we get into that, Hailey, how are you doing today on a scale of 1 to 10? Also, this couch cushion's falling off.
Oh, no. Be careful. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think I've got to be like a 7.5. 7.5. Not a bad day.
Okay.
Had a super mellow day.
Good.
Just hung out, did some errands, talked about my feelings. You know how much I love that.
I love talking about feelings.
And now I'm here.
Yeah.
What about you? How are you feeling?
Probably like a 5, if I'm being real. I had to talk about my feelings at work today.
Oof.
And
nothing better than feelings
in
work.
Talking about your feelings is always hard. Talking about your feelings at work is always harder.
Yeah.
So, that's fun. But, it's just a momentary thing. I still like my job.
That's good.
Bill's going to come in here again. I just know it.
William.
Anyways, do we have a question of the week this week?
Yikes. I don't think we did.
Okay, here's the question that I have for today. Would you rather be...
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather be born in Ireland?
Okay.
Or born in... born in... I'm trying to think of another country that's, good. Born in... Switzerland.
Switzerland? I don't really know much about either, except Switzerland. Those are the Swiss.
Yeah,
right?
They have Swiss cheese,
Swiss chocolate. Like
Swiss hot chocolate.
They know what they're doing.
The Swiss Alpine. Swiss.
Irish, they do love their St. Patty's Day,
I'm pretty sure Matterhorn's there, too.
Oh.
In Switzerland, not in Ireland.
I don't know. They both seem like great places. I feel like I would fit in more with the Irish, though.
Yeah.
I feel like they're more of the, rambunctious...
Sure.
Have a good timers.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay.
What about you?
I don't know.
Swiss
Maybe
or Irish?
Swiss. Because I feel like I've been to Ireland, and I love it.
You have.
I think their main industry is tourism, and it's probably the same in what do you call? It's probably the same in Switzerland, but is there a shorter name for? I was gonna call it the Swiss. Is it the Swiss? The Swiss?
I want to say it's the Swiss.
It's probably the Swiss.
Watch all these Swiss people.
I want to be from Switzerland because how cool would it be to be a Swiss? Yeah, I'm Swiss.
Are they
I don't
Swiss?
think that's what it's called, though.
I don't know.
I think
I
we're
want to
saying it
say
right.
they are Swiss, but I feel like I may be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. Wild.
Well, that's upsetting.
That's exciting.
Ay, ay, ay.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's dive in. We've
about
got lots
nothing,
to chat about.
We're going to start off with the why for dating, because I think, right, like that gets lost a lot. The why for like, why are you dating? Are you dating for fun? Are you dating to get married? Are you dating because you're lonely? Are you dating because like you're trying to fill a void or like you need something?
Yeah, there's different types of ways of dating.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many in this like day of age now.
Yeah.
And especially like as people in their 20s. That's just something that we just have to go about. I think what's also really hard that I do want to like state, especially since we're on the point of dating, is it is very important for you and the other person that you are talking to, seeing, whatever, to be on the same point.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing trickier than you being on the point of dating where, hold on, let me finish my thought, where you want to like date for marriage and say somebody else that you're with doesn't see that and only wants to date for fun or just like, oh, we'll see where it goes type of thing, you know? So I feel like that's really important. Sorry, I just want to specify that. I feel like that's a good thing to know before you head into, like, that's a valid question to ask somebody before you waste your time and possibly hurt your heart further down the line. Yeah. You know, there's questions that you need to ask, and, like, we'll get into that later, but I think that's a good one to start off with.
Yeah, you both need to be on the same point.
Yeah.
And you kind of mentioned it, too, but, like, you need to go in it with, like, a mentality of like, okay, how am I going to guard my heart? How am I going to guard his heart? And how do I already, like, if you're talking to somebody, how do you see him guarding your heart?
Yeah.
Because you guys should both be very, I feel like, very aware of, like, the heart is such a fragile thing. Like, emotions are such a fragile thing. And when, you know, you go into date someone, like, your heart is so in it, and you're putting that at risk.
Yeah.
And so, like, not thinking about, like, hey, like, what happens if this doesn't work out? Or, like, hey, like, how are we making sure that we're not going too far, either emotionally or, like, what other way? Oh, it's a helicopter. How are we making sure that we're guarding each other's heart?
Yeah.
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 No, that's yeah, that's fair. I mean, obviously, when you go into a relationship or talking stage with anybody, any sane human being, I will emphasize that, any sane human being does not want to hurt somebody else.
Right. Yeah.
That is the main goal. And if you do want to hurt other people, then
screw that.
Maybe you shouldn't be dating. Maybe you should just get out.
I think yeah, like most people don't go in it to like, I'm gonna hurt this person. But I think if you are not in a good place to date, you're gonna end up hurting that person.
Yeah, no, that's true. You have to work. I've heard somebody say, and like probably other people have too, but like you have to work and love on yourself before you can allow somebody to love you.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe that. I think that if like, I feel like it's very Hollywoodized. Like you see in movies where like somebody's struggling and all this stuff and you're like, I'm gonna fix them. Like this, like,
yeah.
I mean, it might be able to work, but the odds of it, that's a lot to take on.
Yeah.
Not only are you like trying to work on a relationship, but you're also trying to pick up the pieces of somebody else. And that's a lot of work. That's not 50-50 effort right there. That's more like maybe 25-75.
Yeah.
And as hard as it is, because I know men and women that are in a position right now where they're just like, I just want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sick of being single. I don't want to do this anymore. I need to be loved by somebody. And it's like, I get that, but you have to be comfortable being single and enjoy being single before you dive into a relationship. Because a lot of people think like, oh, I've got these like abandonment issues, or like I have like insecurities, or like I have commitment issues. That doesn't go away or completely erase just because you're in a relationship. This person's not meant to fix those things. You're meant to fix those things before you can. It's like a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
If you're a broken puzzle piece because you got some issues, you're not going to mesh well.
Yeah.
You have to be a fully formed, like, confident puzzle piece
Yeah.
in order to. Sorry, that was a spiel.
No,
but that's
it's good.
But that's
You know
what
what's, you know what's funny is, I have a conflict, or I had a conflict with that, like when I started dating.
Yeah.
The last person, right before, like months before I had even met him, I was watching this podcast, or listening to this podcast. Her name is Bianca. I forget her last name, but she does a lot of work with like Sadie Robertson.
Oh, nice.
And she was talking about, or like it was a podcast series of like, hey, like what do you need to prepare before to know that you're ready for a relationship?
Yeah.
And it was basically like, know how to deal with your anxiety, be mentally stable, like all these things. And there were like a couple where I was like, yes, like check mark that. There were a few where I was like, I'm working on that. I'm not like, not working on it, but I was still definitely struggling with like stuff like anxiety. But in my head I was like, well, you don't have to, like, nobody's a perfect person, like everybody's gonna struggle with it, so it's okay, like for me to like, say that I'm ready for dating.
Yeah.
And I think like to a point, yes, like you're never gonna be perfect. Like some people struggle with anxiety their whole life, but I think like just being at a place where you're not going to put that anxiety, or like you're not going to depend on that person to like help cope with your anxiety, or like depend on a person to pull you out of like anxious thoughts, or be your rock in anxiety. So like, yeah, you have to be at a place where you can manage yourself and manage a relationship. But again, you don't have to be perfect.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a weird balance. Like, how do you know what the right balance is? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. And like, I like how you said, and like, and I didn't mean it as like you have to have everything fixed before you get in a relationship.
Yeah.
As long as you're working towards yourself and like working towards to better yourself, then you're in the right headspace. But if you're going into it saying like, oh, this person's going to fix me, that's not it.
Right. Or you're going to fix that person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, can't have a fixing mindset.
We're not Dr. Phil here.
We're not Dr. Phil.
You're not Dr. Phil. You don't get paid for Dr. Phil.
I don't know if you would want to. I don't want to date Dr. Phil.
I don't want to date Dr. Phil.
Sorry, Phil.
Sorry, Philium.
So I guess, Hailey, like, what do you look for when you're thinking about a potential future spouse?
What do I look? That's a lot of pressure.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. What do I look for? I think you just have to like take a step back and really like, and I know like that question probably gets asked like so many times to people, and people are like, oh, well, like they have to be blonde and they have to have blue eyes, and like it's like materialistic things. And that's fine, but I feel like if you're trying to find a spouse or like dating, like even if you're like, I don't want to get married, you want to have like a long-lasting dating boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. I think you actually have to like be like, these are the qualities that I'm looking in for someone. Like past the looks. Yeah. Like that's just a plus.
Yeah.
Looks
like, go away.
Looks go away. They could be, they could look hot right now, but they could be a butt ugly old man with a terrible personality. And you don't want to be on a rocking chair on your wraparound porch with a ugly old man with a terrible personality. You want somebody who's still going to make you laugh,
Even though he's ugly.
Even though he's ugly. Who cares if he's ugly? He makes me laugh. So I think a couple, I'll just say 3, just for me. I think I'm looking for somebody who is, obviously has a very strong faith. I want somebody to challenge and uplift me when it comes to my faith and my relationship with God. I want somebody that I can go to church with, that I can say like, hey, I want to raise my kids in the church. Like I need you to partner with me in this. I think that's really important for me. I am looking for somebody who is family oriented. I'm a very big family person. And so, not saying that Actually, I kind of, well, like, I want somebody to, like, want a family and to, like, cherish and, like, have fun with their family.
Yeah.
I can't really, I retract that statement because I know quite a bit of people who haven't had a very strong family background, and I don't think that's negative, and I don't think that has, like, affected them.
Sure. But you're just saying that you want them to, like, to be family oriented with your family.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like I'll be family oriented with their family too, but like I want my family and him to mesh very well, obviously. Yeah. And also I think my last one is just like driven. I need somebody who's driven.
Yeah.
I need somebody who has goals and drive in life. Ambitions. Like, I can't date somebody who's lazy. I mean, don't worry, I have my lazy days too. But, like, you have to have, like, you need to have goals in life, I think, in order to, like, have sanity, I think.
Yeah.
And so just to, strive for better. You want the best in your life, and if you don't, then, I mean, that's on you. But I really think it's important to find somebody who, like, has very strong goals and ambitions. I think that's a good characteristic. What about you? What are some?
I think, same with her first one, like, faith is, like, the top
tier.
Top priority.
Top tier.
Somebody, a guy who has, like, a genuine faith and, like, genuinely knows the Lord and, like, is constantly in that relationship. Preach. Oh my gosh, that's attractive.
Preach.
So that is number one. And then I think number two is, like, he's kind. And, like, I know that's such, like, a duh. But, like, like, I want somebody who's like, oh, you're dating so-and-so, or, oh, you're married to, like, so-and-so. Like, wow, he is one of the kindest people I know.
Yeah.
You know, like, kind and compassionate, I think. Like, able to, like, empathize and not just sympathize.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also somebody who is intentional. Intentional with, like, their relationship with me and their relationship with other people. Like, there needs to be both. Like, you can be intentional in, like, your dating relationship, but are you intentional with friends, or, like, vice versa? Like, okay, you're intentional with your friends and, like, the people, your community around you, but if you're not intentional with, like, the person you're dating, like, there needs to be consistency in that. So those are my top ones. I don't know if I talked about this on the last podcast, so stop me if I did, because that's when I had just got back from Tennessee, I think.
Okay.
But I went to a church in Tennessee. I think I might have talked about this, but whatever. I'm going to say it again.
Oh, wow.
I went to a church in Tennessee, and the message was, like, God loves you because he loves you. Like, he doesn't love you because, like, you do this, or you don't do this, or you asked for forgiveness here, or you, like, did all these things or didn't do all those things. So I think, like, something, like, I've been realizing is, like, we're called to love like Jesus. Like, we're called to love unconditionally. And so I think something that's also really important for me, and something that I look for in, like, a future spouse is, like, okay, is this person going to forgive me for, like, all the mistakes that I've made and will make? Will he call me up in those in love and not shame me for, like, the things that I've done wrong? Will he love me unconditionally, like Christ has called us to love one another? Like, you know, you can love somebody because they're pretty. This is what he was saying. Like, we love people because of personalities sometimes. Like, we love people because they're funny, or because they're kind to us, or because they helped us with this. But, like, there's going to be time, like, people change, personalities change. As you grow old, like, the person that I was when I was, or the person I am now might not be the person I am when I'm 40. Yeah. So it's like, oh my gosh, there's some sort of helicopter chase.
What is going on?
I don't know.
There's, like,
I don't know.
I'm in GTA out there. There's, like, helicopter, ambulance, the police.
Yeah.
Ay.
Anyways, so, like, I'm in, now I lost my train of thought.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm in, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. like this person that I'm thinking about marrying, like, are they going to love me no matter what?
Yeah.
Are they going to stick with me when I mess up? Are they going to be by my side and fight for me when I mess up? And am I willing to do that for them?
Yeah.
For the rest of my life? Dude, there's so much happening. We're going to, you know what? We're in a deep combo. We're going to hold the train stop till the end. We'll see if we have a train stop this episode. TBD.
TBD. Sorry, it's just too good. We can't.
Yeah,
We gotta.
can't
We
stop.
gotta
So,
keep pursuing.
so yeah, like, loving unconditionally is a big thing for me. Because like that's the whole point, is that, I mean, you're going to be with this person the rest of your life. And like, you're going to be, I mean, the goal when you get married is to like glorify God more. Like, you're a couple. So like, how can you glorify God as a couple?
Yeah.
And that starts with loving each other unconditionally.
Yeah.
Obviously there's like things that happen. Hopefully
Yeah.
you don't marry someone that cheats on you or is abusive.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. We'll cross that bridge when we get.
Yeah, sure.
Wow. So good. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
So we've talked a little bit about what we're looking for. I think it's also a good thing to talk about
What you're not
this
looking for?
episode. Yeah, let's talk about some red flags.
flags.
I think that's a good topic to talk about.
Red flags are so interesting because it's like, yeah, the obvious, like, doesn't hit you, doesn't like talk bad about you, isn't a I was about to say a bad word, isn't a not the bad word, just like the D-bag word. I was gonna say that.
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, okay.
Isn't
You scared me.
isn't a jerk, you know?
Yeah,
That
that wasn't a bad word.
sorry, I'm just confused. Anyways, so like, there's the obvious red flags, but then there's the not so obvious red flags that, like, when I was dating, I was like, I didn't recognize them as red flags.
Yeah. I know that we were in, we'll talk about it more in a little bit, but we took a kingdom coupling class at our church that they put on
Yeah.
a couple months back, I want to say. And the class was all about, I'm going to read it from here, how to develop
How to develop discernment in dating so you don't get duped.
And we
It's a
talked.
good class.
It was very good. And it talked a little bit about red flags. And one of the like most eye-opening things that this guy said was how when you are in a relationship and you are looking at a red flag.
Oh, this is good.
So good. When you're in a relationship and you're looking at a red flag, or you could be talking to somebody, whatever, you are like looking at the red flag like this. The red flag is, you're looking at it head on. So when it's waving in the wind, you're looking at it like this. So you can't really see it. But to everybody else, from a side view, they can see it. And so in my mind, I was like, that just made everything click, because I can say like 100, I will say 99.9%.
Sure.
I would say I'm 99.9% confident that everybody who is listening, watching, or like whatever, you can talk to your friends, you can talk to your family. Everybody has been in a situation where you have been in a relationship or a talking stage with anybody, whether it's a boy or girl, whoever you are. And you have had friends or family or somebody come up to you and say, hey, this doesn't look good. Like, are you sure? Are you positive? Yeah. Like, this doesn't look good. Like, I'm just trying to look out for you. And in your mind, you're like, I don't know what this person is talking about.
Like, this person's totally fine.
What are you talking about? And it's because you're not looking directly at the red flag. Everybody else who's seeing it from a side view can literally see it. Like, are you, like, they're like, are you crazy, Brie? What are you talking about? Like, it's right there in front of your face. And you're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what's funny is, like, even after a relationship ends, I think it takes so long for you to be like, oh. Because, like, even, like, people were saying, like, this, and this. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. But then you take a step back.
It's called, like, love struck or love bombed. Something like that, where, like, you're under
a spell.
Yeah, you're under this just, like, fascination of just, like, everything's fine and dandy and roses, and we're going to get married. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And we're going to fall in love, and blah, blah, blah. Be quiet.
Lies.
Lies. I mean, it might work out.
It could work out.
But, you know, the only way for it to work out is to identify those red flags.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
That's what we're going to talk about.
So Brie and I are going to share a little bit about the red flags that
get some juicy
we have come to see from our past relationships, because I know you guys just want to learn all about us. So our trauma is your comedy. So here we go.
Oh, jeez, we're just going right in. All right.
All right,
I'm pulling up my kingdom coupling thing.
Oh, yeah, because you have all yours on there. How about you open it up? You open it up. Or do you want me to open it up?
Open what up? Oh, start?
Yeah.
Actually, let me see what I wrote down, because I think this is more fresh on the mind.
Buckle up.
So I'll start with something not super controversial, because I already said this.
Okay.
When someone's not intentional, when they're, you know, consistently late, when they are not putting in the effort, either with you or with other people, you know, I mean, sometimes they have valid excuse, but if it's just consistently like, I'm busy, I'm working, I'm blah, 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 they're either, you know that movie, he's just not that into you.
Yeah.
He's just not that into you, or like he has some like things to figure out. So I think like that is a red flag. Like somebody needs to be intentional in a relationship with you. Like you are worth spending time with, and you're worth, you know, being intentional for.
Yeah.
So when someone's consistently not intentional with you,
kick them to the curb.
red flag.
All right, give me one more red flag.
One more.
You don't have one more?
Should I say this one, the first one?
Yeah.
Okay. I think gaslighting is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody consistently is like, no, like that didn't happen, or like, no, it's not like that, or invalidates your feelings, or invalidates what's happening, or like says something is happening but is actually not happening. Like I don't know what example to give of this, but like that was that's something that is a red flag. Is, you know, you deserve not to be gaslighted. Your feelings deserve to be validated. Your feelings deserve, like, and they can be invalidated in a way that's like very sly. Like they can, you know, take your feelings, but if they're like not, I don't know, this is hard. Like if they're not saying anything, or they're like just taking it in and taking it as like, you know, their fault, or like their, you know, like you should be able to share your feelings without like feeling whiplashed by it, I guess.
Yeah.
I did not talk about that very well. So.
That's okay. I think they got the memo.
Okay.
I got the memo.
Haley, give me some red flags.
I'll just say 2, like Brie. We don't want to be here for hours.
No, then we're going back to 2, and then we'll do 2 more.
That's a lot of red flags.
Okay.
I
mean, I got a full list.
Hey yo, Brie stacked up. I'll say one of mine is white lies. It doesn't seem like something that would be a big issue because everybody does it, but I think that if you have somebody that's consistently, like if you're dating somebody who's consistently like telling you like small little white lies, I think that is just a recipe for disaster later on. Especially like if you are just a like compulsive liar, like that's what it is. If you say white lies, like you're kind of a compulsive liar like all the time.
Sure.
And so I can see that being an issue later on down the line, whether that be like, it could be lying about like stupid stuff to start like petty arguments, like lying about saying you took out the trash and you didn't take out the trash, or like stupid stuff.
Yeah.
But also on the other side of the scale, it could be something as bad as like, I mean, we're just going to worst case scenario here, like infidelity. Like that, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that wants that. If you're on here and you watch that, I know you don't want that. Like, if you're listening, I know you don't want it. Nobody wants it. So, like, it's just something that I have, like, noticed in some of the relationships that I've been in, and just something that even, like, it doesn't have to be stuff that I've also gone through or Brie has gone through. It could also just be things that we, like, know other people who have been with somebody like
that's
that.
where some of it comes
and
from.
it's just like, hey, yo, you went through that. I don't want to go through that. So that's something I'm going to have on my radar.
Good. What's next?
What's next? Like I said, kind of like how it kind of like ties into my like wants.
Yeah.
But if this person doesn't talk about the future, I think that's a red flag.
That's a good one.
Like I said in the beginning, like I just set myself up. Good job, Hailey. Pat on the back. I set myself up for this one. But like how I said in the beginning, how it's super important to have conversations with somebody about how you want your relationship to be, and like what you think that's going to look like and what your future is going to look like together. Because I personally have been in a relationship, and I know lots of other my friends and other family members who have been in relationships where it's just like they think it's all like unicorns and rainbows and it's great, and like, oh, we're going to get married and it's going to be great. But like you don't have a conversation about that.
Yeah.
And so you're just assuming that this other person is like, oh yeah, like we're going to get married. Of course we're going to get married. Like we don't even talk about it. And it's like, well, you don't even know what they're thinking. Because they could just want to break up with you. Like you don't know.
Yeah.
But it's also super important too, because you have to both be on the same page about things. Like you don't want to date somebody and be like, okay, like we've been together for a couple of years. I think I'm ready to get married now.
Yeah.
And that person be like, oh, I don't want to get married for like another 5 years. And you're like,
yeah, so like
5 years?
Yeah.
Like you have to have like, and that's also like ties into like communication. Like you have to have a good form of communication.
Yeah.
If you don't have a good form of communication and you don't talk about the future, and you're setting yourself up on that.
You have to be honest with your expectations about the future, because like lying to like protect someone's feelings just hurts them more.
It's just going to hurt them more down the line.
Yeah.
It's going to make it worse.
Yeah, that's good.
Those are mine.
I know we have a lot more. Do we just want to like rapid fire list them out?
We could, with like no explanation.
Yeah.
Sure, you go for it.
Okay, I have like 2 lists. So I already said gaslighting, not intentional, arrogance, financially irresponsible, not careful with how they talk to you, what words they use, narcissistic, and unforgiving.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't have a bunch on here,
Not
but
crazy.
I already talked about lack of communication a little bit. Never talked about the future. Fails to take responsibilities for one's actions.
Yeah.
I said what I said. No goals in life, no drive, no ambitions. Kind of talked about that earlier. Tells white lies. Said that too. Gaslights. It's just an ongoing thing.
It's just an ongoing thing.
Also one that I didn't list here, but like having I think this just goes for men. It could go for women too.
Men.
But
do better. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But like there is a healthy way for somebody to have a relationship with their parents. Oh, moms, dads specifically.
Sure.
And I have seen what an unhealthy relationship with their family parent does.
No bueno.
Also, if you are a woman, and you've probably heard this advice before, I'm just spitting knowledge at this point.
Yeah.
Look at the way your spouse, hopefully you look at this before they become your spouse, your boyfriend, the person you're talking to, treats the women in their family.
Yep.
Because that sets precedent for how they will treat you. Said what I said.
Boom, mic drop. Spit in truth, spit in knowledge.
Spit in truth, spit in facts.
Wow.
Wow.
I also want to say, like, too, something that really helped me was I read this book.
Oh, you did read the book.
His name is Gary Thomas. Author is Gary Thomas. This stupid helicopter.
What are they doing?
I don't know.
They're probably
Somebody
coming to
better
talk
get
to us, but we're
arrested.
busy.
Yeah,
Leave us
sorry.
alone.
We're too famous right now, okay? Okay, book is called The Sacred Search by Gary Thomas.
Yes, it is.
It kind of talks about, like, hey, how to date. This is how you do it. Obviously not a step-by-step guide, but it does give, like, hey, these are some questions to ask when you are starting to date. These are some questions to ask when you're starting to think about getting engaged. These are the questions to ask when you are engaged.
Oh, wow.
These are red flags to look
Can you
out.
send me the book?
Yeah, I will. I literally think you should read it because
I probably should.
I
think everybody should
remember
read it.
reading it at the end of my relationship and just, like, sobbing and being like, oh my goodness, like, why didn't somebody, like,
Why did I read this before?
why didn't I do this before? Like, I had to grow from it and I gained a lot and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But if you are thinking about dating before you date, I really think, like, I can't emphasize enough, like, how much this book has shaped and has changed the way that I think about dating. And someday I'd love to do an episode just on this book.
We will.
Maybe we'll get #Gary Thomas on. Would be enthralled to have him on. I don't think that was the right word, but whatever.
That's okay.
Anyways,
Excited.
read the book.
Wow.
What a time.
That was great. It's called The Sacred Search by who?
Gary Thomas.
Gary Thomas. So if you're interested in that
I'll
book.
lend it to you, but it has all my notes. You might cringe.
Just kidding.
It's the end of the episode.
End of the episode.
And it's time for POVs. Do you know your POV?
Oh, I know my POV.
All right, give it to
Okay.
us.
Guys, this one shook me to my core. Almost as much as it did the sunscreen one.
Wow.
Sunscreen one, really. These are just, like, facts. Like, they're my POVs,
Yeah.
but they're facts that just, like, are just groundbreaking. And
Yeah.
maybe some people know this, maybe some people don't. Did you know that apple pie isn't actually American at all? Are you kidding me? This apple pie has built the USA from the ground up. I'm pretty sure we bleed apple pie at this point.
You know what I know what I'm changing my POV.
Okay, well, hold on. I've got
keep
my tidbit.
going.
So it says, here's a little tidbit about this. It says, the next time you call something as American as apple pie, you might want to consider the fact that neither apple pies nor apples originally came from America. Let that sit.
You don't even like apples.
Yes, I do. Go back to my POV. I said I like apples. I don't like applesauce or apple juice.
Okay,
I like
continue.
apple pie. I said that too. Apples are in fact native to Asia. And the first recorded recipe for apple pie was actually written in England.
That's wild.
That blew my mind.
I think the sunscreen thing blew my mind more.
Stop.
But this was good.
Somebody hype up the apple pie in the comments.
Okay, here's my POV because this is going to be hilarious.
Okay.
Pumpkin pie is better than apple pie.
That wasn't funny. That was rude.
Listen. Okay, if you're talking about a Dutch apple pie or a Dutch apple crumble with, like, the crumble on top, delicious. Delicious. But apple pie is overrated. Pumpkin pie, give me a slice of that. Put some ice cream. Cover it up in whipped cream. Literally go around the entire pie so that there's no pie showing. It's just whipped cream. Uncle Doug and I do this again. Shout out to #Uncle Doug.
Uncle Doug.
Gotta
meet this man.
You do. You should come to our family reunion. It'd be great. Not reunion. Family.
Haven's family. I know you're watching. If you ever want to invite me, I'm available.
You're invited. Anyways, pumpkin pie slaps. Ow! I almost hit my
That was an interesting take. That was interesting. Yeah. But like I said, it's your opinion, your thing. I don't think I agree with you, but I will. What I will say is, I don't think anything's better than dump cake.
What's dump cake?
All right, we're gonna have to revisit that. We don't have enough time to just talk about that now. But
What? I want to know what dump cake
dump cake! Dump cake! You don't know what dump cake is? It could be like any variation of fruit, anything you want. And it's literally like you get a box cake mix, You grease your pan first. You dump the box cake, the dry, hold on, I'll make you some dump cake. You dump it, Jessica Federley, I don't know if she's watching this, but she makes the best dump cake.
Wow.
Ever. So you leave the dry ingredients on there.
Can she make me some dump cake?
Probably. She knows what she's doing.
She just has a baby.
It's okay. She's got time.
Okay.
Maybe. Baby sleeps. But then you get like 3 pounds of butter. Not realistically, but I'm just saying, hypothetically. You like cut the butter into like slices and then you lay it across. I think that's what you do.
Yeah.
You lay it across. And then I think you put the
milk?
The canned fruit on top.
Oh.
So I've had like cherry dump cake. I've had like pineapple cherry dump cake, blueberry dump cake. It's so good.
Interesting.
But we don't have any more time for that.
I gotta get me some dump cake.
We'll
At
update.
Jessica
Brie
Federley?
will update you on the dump cake.
Okay. Next time, instead of soda, we'll have a dump cake. Anyways, this has been Red Flags and how not to get freaking duped.
Nope. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week for our final episode of season 1.
And hopefully there'll be no helicopters.
No helicopters. Bye, guys.
POV.